They're just idiot. Because
Right.
duels is basically you get put into a little a fight circle, and you have a bar. Basically you have to fight and just kind of keep it from going from one way to the other. Just get to yours to get.
Oh, is it
yeah.
like fucking the duels in Suikoden 2? Hi, welcome back to Limbus Company, everybody. What a segue.
I don't. Not that I remember.
No, actually no, because I remember Suikoden 2's duels being fucking rock paper scissors in retrospect.
Yeah, it's not really. It's basically you like you don't have a health bar. Basically, you share like a bar, like one bar. And you just gotta like deplete their
Dominate.
bar. Yeah, that just dominate them.
The content update's so nice. We had to stream it twice because there's apparently a whole lot to it. Oh, interesting. No good boy prizes for a hot fix. Ah well. Okay, so we gotta complete checkup. Oh yeah, I did redeem prizes last night. Okay.
But can I see?
Nope. You're too blindsided by Lupu. Hit roadblock
Hey.
in Galeria, stupid heart. Oh. End of Act 2?
Being blind by Lulu is like, hey, Hi Wang. The best thing I would like to do is when they tell me not to do something, is to actually do it.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
love
Booga booga.
Oh, hey, Tiger. Yeah. Oh. Oh, I gotta change the icon. Hang on.
Oh,
I'm sure you completed this content already, Tiger. But you're wondering
Correct.
why we're doing it. It's because we hadn't finished it yet.
Yeah, we were at 4 hours last night.
I
and
need to go to Fugi.
Oh, I was gonna say, this is fine. I just had to adjust things. New classification codes. Oh.
Here we go.
Ah. And then just slap that sticker right on there.
Kapow.
So we just got off of, the donkey wellness check. I don't feel well at all. After some time passed. Next, we must discuss classification numbers. Is there supposed to be, like, no music here? What is this? Why is it so deathly silent? We've been assigning risk levels for distortions just as we have for abnormalities. The observation logs you've written for us were great help, of course. Is there just, like, no music here? What's happening?
I guess not.
My researchers struggled to parse the handwriting of some sinners, but it was good data all the same. We once had a 3-hour debate over a letter.
So every time I look at the LCE hoodie, I just look at the little zipper.
Yeah, I know, right? God, I want that hoodie so bad.
Yeah, same.
It's so good. Even the Blade Governess gave up on trying to fix my handwriting. Heathcliff grinned proudly and wiped the side of his nose. As you all must be well aware, the current system of classification numbers has a rather significant oversight. Because abnormalities were created by the former L Corp, our classification system had to be lifted whole from their system. However, the criteria which L Corp measured risk levels was the amount of their energy production. As a correlation of sorts, it was often the case that the more aggressive abnormalities produced more energy, but the destructive capabilities were not part of the criteria, despite correlation. This is why certain abnormalities were assigned relatively lower risk levels, despite the potential to kill even multiple higher-ranking employees. They were an energy company at the end of the day. It makes sense that their priority would be to measure energy output. However, here, both abnormalities and distortions must be suppressed via direct confrontation. Thus, the former classification system is rather incongruent. Huh? I once heard someone say that we should be wary of people who drone on and on in the intro. This sounds like a familiar. This sounds like a familiar ending, actually. Thus, it became necessary for us to reorganize the risk level and classification codes. Wow, interesting. So how's that going? I'm rather taken aback by the naivety of that question.
You get used to it around Honglu.
Us. It's us. Sinners without the right to refuse, was it? Wait a sec. Aren't you just offloading your work onto us? A privilege given to researchers. Wait, don't be so ignorant, yeah? This is all just to research the distortions, right? We gotta... The other way around, assistant. We gotta do research into distortions in order to solve them better. It's elementary.
I love how Heathcliff's gotten a big head the moment he's given any authority whatsoever.
It's great. Like, entire arc dedicated to him, and he had made so much progress. Give him an inch. Oh man.
He's just very silly. It's the thing.
Hohenheim's really got you wrapped around his finger. You know that. According to LCD data, on-site investigation reasoning team leader, the progression of a distortion is much like a disease. The fate of an abnormality awaits at the end of the distortion phenomenon, after all. When a distortion progresses into an abnormality, all pre-existing individualities are replaced. Is erased, replaced with the totality of an abnormality. Thus, it becomes impossible to bring back a distortion that is already transformed into an abnormality. It will no longer have that reversibility that it once had in the distortion phase. So, a distortion like the Time Ripper fella would eventually become an abnormality too, if left untouched? If you're referring to subject He7Pi21, then yes. This is simply a prediction, of course. Because that particular subject isn't contained here, I cannot say with absolute certainty that its progression into an abnormality will be observed. Didn't we kill Time Ripper?
No.
What happened to him?
He got contained.
Yeah, we.
Or rather,
Totally
they got
down.
contained.
Yeah, they got contained, and then the crew, the cleanup crew came and yoinked them away.
Okay, I thought he got away like they usually do. A correct assessment.
Every distortion that we dealt with hadn't gotten away. The people came and picked them up.
Oh? Didn't Limbus Company collect Time Ripper? We hoped we would, but T-Corp was very adamant about their claim over the entity, to the point where they refused to even sit at the negotiation table. I found their time-ripping ability quite fascinating, but sometimes I have to know when to cut my losses, I suppose. Wait, so that heap... something. Is that the new classification code? Indeed. Because it is difficult to identify and observe the origin and shape of distortion, we decided to forego that information and instead replace their sin affinities in the expected damage scale. Wait, hang on. I'm trying to remember the code. Wellness, well cheers, here. Give me some well cheers.
So, it was... So, for example, if I look up, one sin and hundreds of good deeds, we find its classification code is O0303. O stands for outside of company, whereas like T would stand for trauma, F stands for folklore, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I believe there's also different particulars to the classification code, but I don't think it particularly matters.
It's actually pretty funny, because, I'm gonna bring this up for the stream to see, and I don't know if the co-coms are gonna see it, but I wanna bring this up. Where is that? I had it somewhere.
No, O is for entities that...
I'm aware. Oh,
Yeah, I'm talking to chat.
Ah, sorry. But like this little number I have here for when we do the goofy Halloween streams, that is actually supposed to be numbers relevant to me. I didn't realize that the O and 3 were actually related to one sin.
Yes.
Because they're also related to stuff relevant to, like, numbers I made up based on personal information about me. So it's actually a really funny coincidence.
Can't believe Highwing's an aberration. He's the bald version of One Sin.
Well, one sin's already bald. I just traded out the Briar Crown for shades.
Bald.
Oh yeah, huh? Bruce Willis bald. I forgot about that.
Meanwhile, I'm 8008.
God. Anyways, sin affinities. Pi must refer to Pigrita, sloth. Ah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, what was the damage code? It appears that the classification now mimics the classification of Picatula. They do indeed follow the same thought process, if we're being technical here. I wouldn't say it mimics it. It would be more accurate to say that, as the Picatula are at once the origins of distortion and its byproducts, the affinities can be transferred 1-to-1. What's the expected damage scale? Combat capability, I'm guessing? I remember them saying that risk levels were determined based on Enkephalin production, which is not the most meaningful information to us, who have to fight them directly. It was a tad inconvenient to put a nebulous idea like combat capabilities into a singular numerical scale of power. Certain entities have idiosyncrasies, wow, brain, come on, and variables that make such a linear measure quite meaningless. So instead, we decided to measure the expected amount of damage that Limbus Company personnel might suffer should they engage. While this Time Ripper poses little threat against the sinners due to your idiosyncrasies, the unique nature of their weapon means they could immediately deal a nihil fatal blow to anyone from LTC department with a single strike. Did they? Like, I thought Time Ripping just stopped them, not injured them.
I mean,
Essentially.
it's
Yeah.
basically fatal.
Oh, this is a good sketch, Tiger.
Yeah, it wasn't me. It was done by Chloe.
Yeah. So basically, like, you know, being indefinitely incapacitated is basically the same thing as basically dying.
Yeah, fair,
Phone.
fair. I just kind of zeroed in on fatal.
This is nigh
there.
fatal.
Ah, okay. That is why this distortion was given a rather highly expected damage scale of 6 from a scale of 1 to 10. Please do note that this is not a perfect system and these values are just references. Will this standard be applied to abnormalities as well? We have plans to do so, yes. Risk levels and expected damage scales will be coming before their classification codes. Speaking of which, I have something to show you all. What is it? What else, other than the monolith? One with the highest potential value among Limbus Company's businesses. Thus, the development of transportation management and processing methodologies of the monolith is a glowing achievement indeed. The artifact by its very nature possesses a great danger. I hesitate to embrace its use so willingly. A great danger? But wouldn't you say that we are beset by danger at all times? The arbitrariness in deciding on how dangerous something is comes from the degree to which it poses a risk. As you must already know, the monolith here is a device that can force a distortion. It's scattered throughout the city just like the Golden Bow, at first only in possession of the fingers and syndicates of the backstreets to now be collected by companies both large and small, like a plague. We also learned that they become rather high-priority targets of some wings out there. So now we have bow monoliths alongside the bows. As luck would have it, we managed to begin our research, expedition, and collection of the monoliths much earlier than others. Now we're already at the stage which we may partake in the process and sale of these artifacts, expanding our business ventures. Why is every video game I'm playing these days involves scavenging weird artifacts for fun and profit? You could say that we narrowly avoided...
Great asset.
What was that?
Great asset.
You could say that we
Great
narrowly...
acid.
No acid, please. Hohenheim. Yeah, he's technically a team member and also higher up. And also,
I am a little sad that I didn't get to I didn't get to voice that Don's freak out, but whatever.
yeah. You also miss me freaking out because, like, I was discussing this on the last stream, but Hohenheim's design is just how I fucking designed my longest running D&D character. Like, I posted it in my D&D Discord, I'm like, wow, that's like right to a fucking T, what?
You feel seen, is it?
A little. The only difference is that my color scheme is brown, not blue. But, like, right down to the behaviors and, like, the snootiness. I'm like, what the hell? Which is impossible for them to watch the D&D games because those are private. Because we may have to confront these wings directly were that the case. Asking out of pure curiosity here, what would happen if we were ever assigned a city threat level? Ish. How about we don't ask questions we don't want to find out the answers to? I mean, what if we do some contractual shenanigans, end up against associations? I think it'd be a good idea to know ahead of time, just in case.
Hey, power scalers, shut the fuck up.
Seems like a question worth entertaining to me. Let's see, from Kanar to Star of the City, I suppose your assignment would be somewhere between Urban Plague and Nightmare? Not SOC yet, huh? Urban Plague and Nightmare, what was that? What was that little, like, in between?
About on the same tier as Bamboo-Headed Kim.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember what was that in Ruina. Was that Lovetown?
Wasn't that like past like that was past Dawn Office, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that would be Lovetown, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Ew. We're already at that level, huh? It almost sounds like you want to be given a threat level. Huh. It's true that you, upon first sight, due to your revival powers and potential of the identity technology, may appear to pose a rather troublesome risk. However, you have a very clear and obvious weakness. Indeed, all of our advantages will be moot upon the manager's death. Hohenheim slowly turns around to look at me, prompting Faust and the other sinners to follow suit. What if we protected them, though? I'm impressed by your optimism, given the kinds of enemies you've faced thus far. We don't even need to go so far as back in time to discuss the incident with Siegfried or Big Brother Ricardo that I read from reports. Should the third sinner suddenly seek to attack the manager with her full might, do you truly believe the rest of you can protect him? Them. No. The flow of this world is that the manager will be preserved, that no such thing may come to pass. That's enough, Hohenheim. Any further divulgence, and Faust will open a disciplinary committee to discuss the consequences of your careless words. Not there yet, are we? Very well. Whichever is the case, you do have the potential to become a Star of the City threat at some point in the future. But do remember that it would be best if you could avoid that.
Hey, I would ask, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? But we're not going to get an answer, so...
And please, don't forget that this is only true so long as you have the company's backing. The flow...
Yeah, because you don't want to be given a threat designation, because you are, then you're a target.
Yeah, well, we don't want another fucking, God, what was the other gal's name? Not Bina, but...
Xena?
Xena, that's... Wow, their names are weird, like...
No, that Bina is Bina. Xena is just how they... Because Bina's original name is Garion.
Garion.
That's right. That's right. The final checkup!
But yeah, he's basically saying, look, if you become a problem, we're just gonna drop you like a sack of fucking potatoes.
Suppress the boss. Oh, and I have to choose a crew, huh?
You sure do.
One thing, it's time for a sinking team.
No.
I ran my last resonance team. Do you want to be furnished with informations, or...
I can probably address this on my own.
Alright.
What were the other identities we needed for fabulous prizes? That's right. Here, but we're never going to use Yiseng, so whatever. And the other one was Faust.
Mm-hmm.
So should I actually be using my burn team if we want to get maximum prizes? It's weird because you want Ryoshu, Yiseng, and Faust. But I don't know what team comp is good for all that. Because ultimately you want it to just be Faust and Ryoshu that you're like actively using. Well, do I have a team that has them both benched? Oh yeah, technically I do. There you are. This team is dangerous though, because like if anyone dies, I have like no backup.
Thoughts on the new Yiseng identity?
Well, my first and primary thought is he's quite the yapper.
My first and primary thought is Slosh Mail 2.
I had the same thought because he wants to lose.
He wants to eat shit constantly and die.
It's
Man, working under Hohenheim must be miserable if his fucking subordinates want to kill themselves that bad.
But like the problem is I see a lot of good ideas here, unlike Slosh Mail. Like
The Unbreakable Coins, yeah, but
the Unbreakable Coins, powering up for losing is pretty good, but also like what's the term I'm looking for here? Aggro payoffs. Because like even though aggro is interesting for controlling where targets go, I've never seen a payoff for it yet. What I believe it's passive where
I mean Lantern Dawn gets payoff for aggro.
Does she?
Yeah. Inner passive.
Yeah, I want to see more of that, but like there's a lot of IDs that have aggro and no payoff, and it's just like it just feels weird because it's still the same thing. Like even though everybody's targeting the aggro target, we're gonna intercept. But
Yeah.
like Yiseng would be good if he didn't have two unfortunate things. One, very low caps on the aggro payoff, because like 2 and 3 is fucking nothing when everyone's targeting him. And the naughty words of gain no more rupture.
Yeah. Like, that's my big reason that I think he's Slosh Mail 2.
That's why I
because,
agree with you there.
Like, not only is he barely going Rupture positive, like, his skill 2 is pretty good for that, but everything else is, I think, either neutral on skill 3 or Rupture negative. Then, once you hit, like, an actual, like, steady point, he self-sabotages and completely fucks over the entire purpose of Rupture.
They really did botch on Mania Rupture, because they had the idea with the first wave of DoorDash Rhodia and Sync Rousseau.
Yeah.
Like, Rupture could be a state of, like, once you get to a point, it just doesn't move. But then they feel like they had to course correct and just say, it doesn't go up, and I'm just like, well, then that makes it... Like, it's already bad that you have to win the clash and hit them twice to get a payoff, unlike Burn, which is already active, Bleed, which is already active, Sinking, which does better things when getting hit, and just stockpiles forever.
Well, they don't want to make the mistake of giving us, like, too much, like, true damage, because Rupture can completely trivialize fights like Spiral of Contempt.
I can see that, but
or if you take, like, Lantern Dawn solo into Dulcinea, then she completely trivializes that fight.
the problem is, like, they had the thing and it felt balanced. Like, 15-5, it just stays there. That's fine.
I can see why they're trying to be careful with Rupture, but LCE Ego Lantern also has the issue of you're not running W Yiseng. Why aren't you running W Yiseng?
Yeah.
He's extremely reliable, and he's the guy who benefits the most from fucking Wayward Passenger Ego. So
I think they made this because for a condition of new players or people that don't have the money to get, you saying they have a freebie easy to get.
I mean, he's literally just 400 shards, but
Yeah.
anyhow, that's
Enough yapping saying, let's get
yeah.
this party rolling. Yeah, my burn team is probably my weakest one, not gonna lie.
제가 앞에 서죠.
He also suffers from the issue of like, okay, well,
We're almost done with the regular checkup. Finally, we have a chance for you to overcome an adversity based on what you've learned thus far. For me, to prove my hypothesis. What is he talking about? No need to worry. My hypotheses have never been wrong, most of the time. This experiment is entirely of my own design and supervision. And I will faithfully follow my own pure curiosities and instincts as a researcher. Oh, you're stupid, aren't you? Guys, I have a feeling we're not gonna like where this goes.
this is the guy who wanted to see Don's feet. Of course he is.
Why did you say it like that?
What do you mean?
Now, do you see this monolith over here? Yep, I do. That's a monolith, alright, but... Oh, don't you worry. My researchers will be the ones to activate the artifact. Activate it? Not on you, relax. I understand that none of you would be willing participants in this experiment. I swear, if you're gonna force us to destroy it by saying we have no right to refuse or something, I'm gonna... Yeah, hang on. I can't even let you do that as your assistant. Yes, but if you must, we are willing to send the weakest sinner from among us for...
Otis?
Otis, please.
Shut the fuck up. Forget I said that. I will be the subject. You're gonna distort yourself. Am I hearing you right?
You should distort yourself now!
Aren't you curious to see what kind of distortion you'd end up becoming? I'm sure this is a question you've all entertained at least once. No, I don't want to turn into Mara.
Listen, I would never distort because I'm not a bitch.
No, I ain't curious. It ain't very pleasant either.
Yeah, Heathcliff speaking from experience.
Yeah, right? Stop gritting your teeth like that, assistant. It'll have an adverse effect on your long-term dental health. What if you just end up being a Picatulum? You're gonna end up being one of those things, just another fodder we slaughter along the way through your tests earlier. You're risking that? It is indeed a possibility. It would signify nothing more than my very own limitations. Just a mediocre shell. If such an incident comes to pass, these employees will transport me to a containment unit. We even made a bet of what kind of Picatulum I'd be. You bet on Goulet, I on Individe, and her on Picate. But how? Think about it like this. If I became a Picatula, it would be like losing a game of chance. Oh, God. I have to interrogate my D&D group. Because fucking... my character also based their life on a game of chance to save the team. Fucking fighting against monsters in a dice game.
Look, it's a 50-50. Either I win or I lose.
Sure, buddy. Of course, what counts as a loss may depend on what I, at that precise time, consider to be losing. Not the mere fact of turning into a Picatulum.
If it's hit or miss, I guess they never miss.
Reaves me of any value to life. I'd say he was being too hard on himself, but that felt like too simple an expression to describe his tone. The company would most likely attempt to transport me to a containment unit, but I disagree with that decision. I would ask that you dispose me on the spot. I'm well aware that I'm not the kind of congenial person who earns others' favors at first meeting, if at all. I also don't believe that our brief relationship has been the most amicable. Therefore, I see little reason why you should hesitate to cut me down. Of course, sinners with gentle hearts like young Sinclair here may express certain distastes against this decision. But once I become a Picatulum, it may as well mean that Hohenheim, the entity, has ceased to be. So I hope no unnecessary emotions like guilt clouds your judgment. But what if the unexpected happens? We're talking about your life here. Don't you have manuals with backup plans, or? This is a very simple matter. Nothing more than a coin flip. Heads or tails. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. Well, Limbus Company is about coin flips, but like... It appears that you're still insisting on your absurd 50-50.
It's a 50-50.
I am a researcher who wishes to humiliate the field of mathematical studies, unlike the general lay of academia. I believe there's a certain romanticism to research. It's much more exciting to run as many tests and gain as many samples as we can thanks to them being stuck behind a desk, pouring day and night over books and paper, isn't it? If it's tails, you may dispose of me immediately, and the employees here will take care of the rest. Don't forget to destroy the key inside that coat pocket, for example. Yes, we remember. We'll get rid of your porn. If I were to successfully distort, we'd be halfway to success. My, for the first time, I'm feeling quite the envy for you all. I wish I could be a witness to my very own distortion. Huh? If you've been paying attention to my lectures, perhaps you can even come up with a classification code for my distortion too, going by the standards we went by earlier. Not that I have a very high expectation that you would. I have recently come to a realization that people nodding along to my words is not a signifier of comprehension, but an expression of social niceties.
Nods.
Then the manager here will open the entrance to the dungeon, to my dungeon of fathoms, and you'll proceed through the mirror dungeon, as you've always done before, to reach the inner depths and face my distortion. I wish you the best of luck. Hexasection. And once you made it that far, it's likely that you'll find me unconscious, or if luck will have it, conscious. Unconscious? You sure this is safe? A degree of case-by-case variance is to be expected. It may take some time to fully recover, but it will happen, should you succeed. That reminds me, that's how this bamboo-headed Kim was brought back as well. He's recovered? He is safely contained within the facilities. Ah, it seems they're ready to activate. I'm conscious that even as the distortion, will be quite the specimen. Hang on, just like that. You're not a Picatulum. Indeed. And I can still hear them. Oh, what the fuck are you?
Chromatic aberration time.
You know, I know we were talking about aberrations of other abnormalities, but this is ridiculous. I remember. I still do. I know he'll be back, but God, this is pretty unnerving. Don't worry, we'll bring him back no matter what. Sure sounds like a dependable sort, this manager of yours. Very well. Please take a look at this. Is this a note? Did he write tips or something? He says that all you have to do is read what's on this note in front of his distortion. Apparently it's a kind of code. I don't think you'll hear anything but ticking noises from me, but can you read this, Merceau? It'll be done as you commanded. Merceau nodded and began to read the note. Lobotomy Corporation, 5 minutes. Potentially anticipation, right hand. The moment Merceau uttered them, the all too familiar portal began to appear around Hohenheim's distortion as though it was a key to a door. Scattering shards of a familiar yet alien sight appears intermittently beyond the shimmering veil. Hohenheim had already entered the portal as we stood there gawking, but we could still hear his voice echoing through the lab. I suppose I'll be forced to share my past here. The past I never wanted to share, the past no one cares to learn about. It's something I must endure for the sake of this experiment. However, I needn't expose every little detail of it. It's all in the past now anyways, isn't it? It's wild how engineered this... Oh. Ooh, yeah. This was gonna be a long one.
Do do do.
We are at the starting point of the Dungeon of Fathoms. We find ourselves in a room that appears to be a workshop of ego gears. If you have scored below 100% synchronization, take only one single ego. An ominous warning sign greets us, and all the same words repeat carelessly. As soon as I'll go take a look, enticed by the sign telling us that we could pick up ego gear, but what we find are gifts. It appears that ego here manifests in the shape of gifts. Well, can we just take them all? This is a Fathoms, as it differs from the usual mirror dungeons. It's highly advisable that its rules are followed. What do we do?
We can't just flip off the fucking
Just take them all.
robot and fight it to take everything.
Ooh, wow, there was no poise here, so it's a good thing I didn't take the poise team, so I guess I'll take the flaming gauntlet. This seems best suited for what we're in. We take combustion gloves. On Clash Wind with a base attack skill. Inflict 2 burn potency. What do they mean by base attack skills?
So not like
Not ego. Okay.
No, honestly, when it comes to it makes sense in a way because hey, you have two identities: one that does fire, one that does rupture. This is what you're getting, idiot.
I don't see any difference in the paths we take.
Perhaps.
One door's red and the other's blue on the Muppets Party Cruise.
You know, in theory, we could just not take these. Just work.
Got it.
No, we don't have to have backup.
I mean, Faust might die.
Yeah, that's why I have one backup.
Yeah. And that's my other issue with Yisang is that he's designed to eat shit, which means that...
It means what?
It means, like, if he eats shit, then you're kind of depriving yourself of a center for the rest of the mirror dungeon. Or
Yeah, that's why the
railway
whole,
or
death philosophy is a little awkward. But I digress.
Is that the sheep?
I think it might be. What's going on with them? Good. It appears that I can censor these at my own will, at least to a degree. Your mission here is to classify my distortion, reach the end of the dungeon, and bring me back. Your mission, however, does not involve digging into my past. This is... It appears we have a passing familiarity with this place. Us... What is it that they seek to convey? I don't believe any level of proper communication will be feasible, given that you are in a dungeon of the Fathoms. Well then, do something about it! I regret to tell you that the setting of this dungeon was out of my hands. Had it been up to me, I would have manifested in a place that was much more fascinating than this. Like the library, fabled to have every book in existence.
You've never been there, so you can't say.
You used to work for Lobotomy Corporation. One of my past careers. Yes. Us. Diplomacy did not seem to be an option here. The sensitive people brandished their weapons threateningly and stood in our path. Looks like we're gonna have to take them down if we want to make any progress here. Can't be helped. Let's get ready for a fight. This is gonna be difficult because usually the Fathoms are meant to, you know, help people resolve their insecurities.
선물을 잔뜩 만들 수 있을 것 같음.
It's time for a jammer, by the way.
기쁘고 신나는 날이요.
Oh, this is a remix of the fucking, like, Idol theme, right?
Yeah, no warning.
This is really good. Also, I'm the unhinged person that likes the gnome triome.
Oh.
I think they're very fun to have as announcers.
Also, that is a very cute Faust ID. Wait. Wait, when
다가오지
you
마세요.
moused the chain over her, did her cape flicker in
어디까지라도
response?
건들 수 있으니.
It
Yes.
did.
Yes, because the camera's shifting, and I'm guessing it's the
Oh.
effects are tied to the camera.
I see.
Well, let's test that theory. No, it only flickers when you go over her.
Weird.
Because, like, if I shift here, she doesn't do that, but if I shift over her, yeah, she shimmers. That's a really wild detail. Oh, it's because focusing on her causes that.
당신의 판단을 따를게요.
Wow, that sucks.
프란 선택이었어 나리. 약점이 뻔히 보이는 게로군.
너희 중에 부상 인원이 생긴 것 같은데?
공세에서 벗어날 수 있게 적의 주위를
Oh,
분산시켜.
how are you already staggered? Ooh, Greg Clash. Oof. Oh, well, that's not too much damage, but Otis is about to eat it.
한 번에 끝낸다. 걷잡을 수 없게
What is Arter Balsam
공격
Faust's
능력
weapon,
평가?
anyways?
양호.
어우, 제대로 꽂혔는데?
괜히 저항하지 말고 받아들여.
낙인을
Wow, Sinclair is already ready to go.
연장 솜씨가 현란하죠. 화물
이번에야말로
만들고 도구 연습만 하는
이
것이요.
싸움을 끝내주겠어.
해체 억압. 진행하겠습니다. 망토가 되었습니다.
나갈 수 없어.
Wow, Otis is just losing flashes.
보냈고.
Is that Bong Bong? Where? I'm guessing one of the people that just annihilated.
괜찮은 공격이네요. 앞으로도 그렇게만 해주세요.
A Bong Bong reference would be pretty funny, but I don't know if PM is that in tune with the memes.
Bong bong, my beloved.
We came across a group of researchers passionately poring over various documents. They have a debate about two subjects, emotions and flame. Regular flames don't seem to hurt the abnormalities very much, so why does this work, I wonder? Perhaps there's a greater degree of wrathful emotions. Perhaps a greater degree of wrathful emotions opens up the room for the fire's heat to touch abnormalities and distortions, both entities of the unknown. They must have noticed us listening into their conversation. One of them approaches us with a glint in their eye. Are you the sample? If so, try this on. In the researcher's hands was what looked like an ignition plug, or a testing machine of sorts. Yeah, sure, we're the samples. Oh, what an interesting reaction. Decent synchronization, too. Maybe the researchers liked what they saw? After scribbling their notes on the various papers, the researchers let Ishmael go. She took off the gear and presented it before the researchers returned it, but they simply shook their head in response. The gear fits you perfectly. Take it with you. Ooh, maybe I should have used Otis.
이 정도는 쉽죠.
But she was pretty low, so... Base attack skills that inflict burn deal more damage and inflict more burn.
That specifically inflict and burn count.
Ah. On hit with these skills against enemies with burn, inflict defense down. Identities whose all base attack skills inflict burn potency, count, or unique. Start with offense level up equal the number of surviving turns. Oh yeah, because, you know, rev up.
움직이는 목인자. 재밌겠군.
So, how do we know this guy actually distorted? He doesn't sound any different from usual. The sanity degradation due to distortion affects every subject differently. I mean, yeah, but censoring his own fathoms? But Hohenheim, you're in a dungeon of the fathoms. We will see through it with Dante's powers, whether you want to or not. You make a fair assessment. How about this, then? If you are able to see them anyway, allow me to save you the trouble of giving you a quick rundown instead. Come visit me as soon as you finish watching my tale. This tale began when that man walked into my laboratory. Yes, I had a personal laboratory all to myself, one of the few perks of being an elite researcher. This guy's just telling the story however he wants, isn't he? Mr. Hohenheim. Let me think. I don't quite remember what he looked like. Something like this, maybe? Whichever is the case. I was planning to censor his appearance anyway. Hey, I wanted to talk to you about something. Stop. Are you here to express your displeasure with me? The what now? If you are, do let me know from the get-go. I had a feeling this would happen. 3 months, not a bad record for working without workplace conflict. Oh, if this is about quitting, then you'd find a much better audience from among the human resources team.
Wow, we got the less of an asshole version of Hohenheim. He used to be worse.
No, I mean, I'm just here to thank you for picking me, some dude on the back street, to work here. I heard it was you that made the hiring decision. I don't know how to put this, but you're the only one who saw my... what's the word? My potential? You saw something that no one else cared to look into before. Know what I mean? Oh, but it had nothing to do with something so grandiose like his potential. A wing does not hire people from the back streets for something so insignificant. While this information has never been made publicly available, L Corporation's primary criteria was trauma. Candidates with horrible, insurmountable trauma were often favored by the company. You know, like the person speaking to you right now. And, in an indirect way, it was only natural that they would begin to favor candidates who originate from the back streets. Your greetings are acknowledged, Jimmy. Now feel free to leave. I ain't Jimmy. Anyway, I've been meaning to ask Mr. Hohenheim, why do you always enjoy being alone? It may come as a surprise to you, but I'm very adept at spending all my time on my own. It's one of the hundreds of distinguishing features that set me apart from ordinary men. Say, don't you need someone to be like your right-hand man? My right hand is doing fine, thank you. It doesn't need detaching. Do you believe in potentialities, Hohenheim? What an unrelentingly stubborn employee he was, even in hindsight. Thanks to you, I do, and I've been thinking, if I keep at it, one day I might even find myself living it large in a nest, changing my world little by little. Kinda like how a thing like me managed to snag a position like here in Lobotomy Corporation. Interesting that Jimmy here describes himself as a thing. Also, he's part of Control Team. That's Malka's team, right?
Yes.
So I'm thinking here, I want to stick around in your circle. To bring about such drastic changes to one's life is in the realm of feasibility for an exceptional researcher like myself, indeed. But you are, like most of the rabble, painfully average in most qualities, and therefore unlikely to be the moving force in that change. I have no faith in universal things like potentialities. I have faith in myself and myself alone. Besides, I'm not very partial to mathematical statistics like the probability theory anyways. But, like, is it all of science based on math? Even biology, the most departed from math, is still rooted in math.
Hohenheim's a weird guy.
Well, thing is, another thing is you expect is you can't say that he probably worked at a branch, not necessarily at main.
So I'd like to keep both my right and left hands as my own. Have a nice day. Want to know something about me? I'm the kind of guy who doesn't really think about things. Action before deliberation, you get it? Ah, thoughtless and carefree. Possibly the only merit to be found in those who originate from the back street. Or was that a thinly veiled threat? No, no! Talk about the new abnormality that just got shipped here. It's a tricky one to manage, I'll tell you what. Read your mind, screws up all kinds of strategies or whatever, as long as it's based on hard logic. Want to shoot for the Department of the Year award? Together? You seem to be rather skilled in the art of transaction. What are the few merits found in those who originate from the back streets?
Sassy.
I will admit, I suppose I was overcome by a certain ennui back then. And in hindsight, it was foolish of me to engage in such conversations. You, that, us. Ah, the remnants of my past come to haunt me again. Perhaps it is I whom they truly wish to hurt. I don't think it's Heathcliff. This guy's too smooth.
오케이. 작전 지역 진입 확인했어. 끝내주겠어.
네, 입감
Heathcliff
양호합니다.
has a rather particular way of talking.
Yeah. One that I
By
can't...
which you mean he's British?
Yes.
By means of I will never be able to emulate it.
순식간에 끝내죠.
It sucks that her skill needs the fourth coin to stagger.
도구 연습만 하는 거고.
그대들은 낙마하지 않을 것이네.
Interesting, they're getting
그리고
sanity
숨이
back.
가빠져와도 결국 우위를 점했기 때문이지.
And they're using, meat lantern?
Or something like it.
Yeah, because the color and the spikes are different.
I mean, we're seeing a bunch of chromatic aberration.
Sense of courage, after attack, target start, speed and gain 3 damage up. Gain 1 fragile. How are they getting sanity back? Oh, I see, it's their skills. So if they ever hit us, we're just kind of fucked. You know what? With Sinclair, I believe in overkill. Because that shit's fucking funny.
순식간에 끝내죠. 괜찮아. 완벽한 선택이었어, 나리! 저들의 약점이 뻔히 보이는 게로군.
Oh, I love big number. See, whenever the Triumph does that, I just imagine they're like the regular show crew going,
한번
oh!
휘두른 걸로 이렇게나?
Oh!
완전 멋있는 걸?
Like with the mouth extended and everything.
Yeah.
It's finally here. The Department of the Year award. Indeed, I've finally done it. With some minor assistance from you, of course. And other employees. Come on, admit it. Don't you notice that a lot more employees have been saying hello, good morning, and what have you in the hallways compared to when your reputation was a bit, you know. It's all because I'm just that good right-hand man. And yeah, Silver Bullet is especially good. I will admit that your intuitive and spontaneous eye was of some assistance when it came to identifying certain observations. This is the potentiality I was talking about, man. Also, I just noticed the armband for some dumb reason. The same thing you saw in me when you decided to get me on board. Apologies for ruining the moment, but the next few years quickly and busily flew without too much trouble. Of course, we picked ourselves a few more Department of the Year awards, some promotions, and some collaborative researches. Yet all things must come to an end. The infamous fall of Lobotomy Corporation, for one. So I don't suppose you have any trouble hazarding what they're all telling me, even as the words come out fragmented. You left us. Nothing but words of endless resentment. Fall of L Corporation. I remember what U.S. Yuri told us. The site crumbled in an instant, trapping the employees in there with the abnormalities. What is the sound? The whole structure's quaking. What the hell's happening? Initiating site burial in 100 seconds. Any remaining employees must immediately evacuate the structure. Counting down. Escape pods! There's only one seat left! They're saying that the next one's in 5 minutes! Listen closely. At the risk of sounding rather callous, I must inform you that the chance of survival in cases of crises is granted only to a very small minority of those affected. Some who prioritize fairness in the process may settle on primitive methods, such as drawing lots. And in more barbaric groups, the survivor would decide none more other than a rule of might. However, I'm glad to find myself among those who are on the side of intelligence. So I make this argument, a suggestion before you. Prepare yourselves, whose sole final purpose in life is clinging to mediocre office jobs and making good on your debt payments. And me, who has produced several groundbreaking epochal theses and research results at such an early age, whose life in your eyes is of greater worth. Yes, and that's how this tale ends. The compound collapsed 90 seconds later. I left the employees of my department behind and boarded the escape pod and survived. How could you? Without even a hint of remorse. Wrath is a hideous emotion. I am here today only because I have maintained a cold, rational head. The Elicorn branch with Hohenheim's Dungeon of Fathoms begins to crumble. It almost appears as though his heart was crumbling as well. Well, now that that's over with, I invite you to come face me, the distortion. And the experiment will come to an end. But just finding and defeating his distortion in a fight, I don't think it's gonna bring him back. I just know it. I agree. I'm stuck on 448. Oh. Dire situations, but I wish you the best.
07.
We're still in deep waters here, but that can't possibly be all there is to it.
Do note that the background changed back to the censored version the moment he went on that long-winded rant. I have a
Yup.
feeling that's not really what happened.
Yeah, he's definitely omitting a lot because he doesn't want to face what he's dealing with.
Obviously, what happened was that the guy. He's trying to rationalize. Yes, that's what that would happen because he wanted to make it. He wanted to be left behind, but instead, the guy chose to go instead.
My out does the best damage. I'm guessing Otis? Oh, my Otis does the best damage. We see the Feigned Lantern within the containment unit. A cyan-hued fairy flutters towards the wiry ancient branches of the tree and softly lands on one of them. The branch seating the fairy sways as though to entice us to get closer. Bright, countless yellow eyes glimmer from the shadows beneath its roots. What a beautiful specimen! Have you finished your observations? We've been learning a lot about the abnormality recently. There's still a lot of unknowns, but still. Speaking of which, here's a pop quiz. What ego gift can you get from the Fey Lantern? Midwinter Nightmare, right?
You know your Fey Lantern.
But that's not all. Recently it's been giving out these things too. Take this with you. I'm glad to have run into a kindred soul. You receive a bony twig, as come from the Fey Lantern itself. Twigs! Every time Rupture activates 3 times on enemies of the Rupture, due to getting hit by ally attack skills, inflict 2 offense level down. On kill, spread it out. Yeah, hey, thanks for the follow, Dre. And for that entire chapter, I definitely think focusing on Yiseng would be better overall.
제가 앞에 서죠.
Oh, it's a
부상 없이
focus
나오는 게
fight.
최고.
Ugh.
알지?
당신들은 상관없을지도요?
Let's Sinclair at. 35. I don't think I have to use big. I don't think I have to use big swing. God, this song is actually pretty good. Yeah. Oh, hang on a second. This is a little awkward, actually.
Sure is.
Oh, that's annoying.
It's fine.
Yeah, this isn't gonna do a lot of damage. It's just annoying, you know.
한 번에 끝낸다.
Wow, she burns herself for 11. Hello?
보냈고 치명적인 한 방이었어.
오, 거의 진압되겠는걸요?
맞아. 여기까지 다 울리지 않았어? 생각보다 잘 타는 걸. 대발장전.
Ah, so close to staggering.
괜히 저항하지 말고 받아들여. 그게 덜 아플걸?
이번에야말로
낙마하지 않을
이
것이네.
싸움을 끝내주겠어.
피를 흘리고 숨이
Big
가빠져도
number, big number.
결국 우위를 점했기 때문이지.
It's time to make the funny number color connecting.
Oh yeah, huh? Wait. Big red gum.
완벽한 한 발을 위해 이 경적 속에서 타올라라.
괜찮아. 이제 난 아플 거야.
다음.
오, 엄청나게 강한 일격을.
Oh man, is Evil Sinclair still viable? Like, he has to be. He could casually throw a 30.
벌써 화끈하네.
이번에야말로
동료들이여, 자세를
이
갖추고
싸움을
저들을
끝내주겠어.
맞이하세. 우리를 가로막는 저 시련을 해치우고 끝나지 않는 모험을 향하여.
You could casually throw out third Vs. Well, I think of clash potential, not damage. Because clashing is more important than, you know... Because that means you're actually getting the damage in.
한 번에 끝낸다.
망설이지 말고.
What? Oh, that was wide, okay. Implant's still viable, but others starting his job easier. Yeah, like, Heathcliff with the gun. Like, part of me is kind of sad that I don't get to use Sniper Heathcliff, but what can you do?
타겟 무력화 확인.
공적을 인사과에 보고해두겠습니다. 한 번에 끝낸다.
좋습니다.
I'm stuck in Warp Team uses. Hey, Warp Team is still extremely viable. It's just that I keep playing this game, so I have a lot of money to throw around. Several messy, frantic letters are carved into the wall with knives. I could practically feel the sheer horror and desperation of the writers from the wild letters. Sniper Heathcliff is so good. I feel like he's okay, but if you have Hong Lu, he gets way better. Because he effectively gets like 2 to 3 actions while giving Hong Lu an action as well.
Yup.
Upon closer inspection, the deep marks tell a tale written in terror. They're swarming us, the monsters, I hear them breathing. They're going to kill us all. Save me, please, someone, anyone, save me. I don't want to die, please. Fear is what drives men to madness. The monsters are near. I can feel the rumble of their feet. They're coming. There are unfinished sentences on the wall. Death has carved deep marks between them. Noticing something, Ishmael points to an area on the wall. There's a small crack between the countless scribbles of letters. I carefully reach out my hand into the opening and... Ah! I feel my tip of my fingers brushing against a card. Someone must have hidden it here. This might come in handy later.
이 정도는 쉽죠.
Ooh, that was super helpful. During the encounter with an ally retreats, apply 3 random offense level ups. When 3 allies retreat or are defeated, apply 6 up. 3 allies with the lowest SP heal 15, 10, and 5 each. Ooh, wow, this is a good card.
Very good card.
The cleaning spray is the illusory hunt, which is useful for every team. What does it do?
3 damage up during abnormality fights.
Oh yeah, it's just generically useful.
벌써 화끈하네.
We arrived at the entrance to Hohenheim's laboratory. This may be my final order to you. Either suppress me and return safe and sound to whence you came, or fail the suppression, place me in a containment unit, and perhaps we can observe what happens next. That's when Heathcliff suddenly strode forward. Hohenheim, you... Do you still believe in potentiality? I do. It's what keeps me going. You only hire researchers from the back streets, don't you? I heard him from earlier. They told me that you were a right pompous bloke, but thanks to you, they could continue to research and believe that there might be things in the world worth working towards.
어떤 상황이
Oh, he's French.
좋아도
끝내주겠어.
포기한... 이건 못하겠습니다. 너무 유치하잖아요.
The Sancho announcer is really good. If only for that one scene.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I like the effect here. This is really good.
Time to fight Chromatic Aberration Man.
Gain 3 stack for this turn. Gain 1 stack every time this unit takes or deals damage against Hohenheim. Take more from enemies. Deal something from enemies. Oh, so we deal more damage but take that damage ourselves.
I like how he's wobbling to the beat.
I was thinking shimmering, which is what I'm wondering. He doesn't have shimmering. Apply potency equals number of subjects. For every 10 subject, click more tremor. So he has poise and tremor. Ew. On turn 3, prepares a powerful skill. After turn 3 is over, the above effect activates when this unit has 30% poise count. If the unit did not take any HP damage during preparation period. Greatly enhanced the skill. Game employees, every time this unit inflicts damage. Game employees can every single time this unit takes damage from attack skills. Gain shield equal 30% missing HP. If this unit has burn, lose that shield. Shield takes 100% more damage from rupture. The shield is destroyed. For the rest of the encounter, take 1 defense level down for each instance the shield has been destroyed. Siphon 10 SP from units with higher SP. Ugh. And this is a focus fight, so I actually gotta look at the cards. 11, 10. It doesn't look like anything gets rid of observation either.
Also, look at the ceiling.
Ooh, nice. We're not fighting Hohenheim, are we?
Memories of memories of Violet Midnight.
I don't think I ever fought Violet Midnight now that I think about it. Man, so close to a full A-res. I know Greg's not technically the best burn unit, but I have like a weird affinity with using him because he still does a lot of damage. It's just that he doesn't clash good. Big number. Bigger number. Yeah!
전술의 승리네요.
대단한 지휘인데 관리자가 아니라 지휘관이었던 거 아니야?
So he has some shield, 116 shield, but doesn't burn remove it? For 23 turns he burns. So let's try like this.
여전히 무섭고 겁이 나. 그럼에도 멈추고 싶지 않아.
앞으로 그런 어설픈 공격은 하지 마십시오. 저도 제 앞에서는 질풍을 지켜주시죠.
Oh, unbreakable dice. I missed that. Oh, Sinclair, come on.
He's got hands coming out of his eye.
Not the weirdest thing I've seen. I did see Wizro from fucking Hyrule Warriors. That dude still makes me
부상
uncomfortable.
없이 나오는 게 최고야. 알지?
당신들은 상관없을지도요.
What is the thing going on underneath us?
I believe that is the observation.
It's AoE markers. We gotta move.
Don't stand in the fire.
Okay, so he's doing a attack preparation, I believe, so we want to break his shield right now, right? I have no bullets on Otis. Interesting.
I pointed that out, Lude. Don't worry.
Well, he hates Rupture, so... This might be a little awkward, because we're not getting a whole lot of damage cards out there. I could kind of do one with Hex Nail, but it's not great damage.
한 번에 끝낸다. 자, 테디, 나를 따라해 보는 거야.
you just store it. But the problem is that instead of having some kind of like crazy form, you're just like an ordinary businessman.
Ordinary Japanese businessman.
전술적으로 불리한 판단일 텐데요.
뭐 항상 정답일 수는 없잖아.
목적이 있었지.
완벽한 우리랑은 다르니까.
Hopefully we get through that shield. Not looking good. Oh no, we got it.
먼저 끝내고
that bird's
돌아오는
doing a
친구는
lot.
맛있는 거 사줄게. 물론 회사 카드로.
70-79.
3,400%.
Gain some of poise by... I gotta fucking look this up. Consume half poise. Gain that as final power. So he's going to pull this off, it sounds like. Deal more damage. Deal 100% more on crit.
Reduce remaining poise count by half on Clash Lose.
If user took HP last turn, does not crit, instead deals 80% less damage. So we need him to lose? Oh no, wait. It's going to do 80% less damage anyways because we damaged him last turn.
Anyway,
But you also want to.
You wanna...
You also want to break that.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what we have to do that.
Magic Bullet.
Slight problem with that. I forgot to adjust Otis's thing for that. I
just mean the skill, but
oh, it's only a 19. Shit, that's nothing then. Hell, I think.
oh yeah, yeah, the Odyssey would actually crack that pretty easy.
Yeah, but what if we bring him the joys of the holidays? Because I forgot to unequip it.
I didn't even get it. I did 20 fucking 10 pulls and it dodged me.
It's okay. You're not missing out.
I managed to get Christmas kind of pull for the new identity.
그럼에도
I think it looked like
멈추고
Highwing.
싶지 않아.
이놈의 덧없는 분노를 다뤄.
I got the
이
ego, but not
선물을
the
퍼부어주도록
identity.
하지.
Highwing gets both in one pull.
감동적이지 않을 수 없네.
80% less damage, my ass.
Doesn't mean it doesn't do damage.
Remember, it's the damage to each person might be different because they're
True.
선물 포장을 그렇게
Oh,
하면
Greg got staggered.
도도로 실장도 말해둘 것이옴.
What plagues your mind, manager? Your suppression efforts seem to be smooth sailing. This is exactly as you have seen, manager, save for a few parts that were censored. I concealed nothing from your view. You just... okay, buckaroo. I don't believe I committed any wrong by escaping that place alone, leaving others to be buried there. Of course, it may be reprehensible from a moral standpoint, but why would anyone ever look at that from that perspective, manager? Especially when you are well aware that, in the city, such a perspective is entirely irrelevant and worthless. I could feel his gaze on me. Like you said, it's going well, but this feels wrong. It shouldn't end like this. What do I tell him? What is he hiding from us?
I mean, I feel like the red hands symbolizing the sins crawling on your back is probably telling me that you do actually feel guilty about this.
There's another side to the story that you've told me.
you want to believe that that's the reason why.
Faust relayed my words to Hohenheim. Another side of my story, is it? Indeed, that is quite feasible. You are correct. The other side is what oft gets lost in the process of obsessing over spacious concepts like the fathoms and the heart. Speaking from a consequential point of view, perspective provided by one's memory is narrow by nature. Even in the fathoms, the deepest parts of one's heart, where many believe lies the empirical, absolute truth, we are still capable of lying. Fascinating, isn't it? They call it metacognitive error. Some call it unconscious bias. I see. You argue that the story I've shown you was simply a fabrication. Indeed, I have not shared any perspectives from my employees, but there's no way by which we may verify them anyways. Isn't it obvious why? They're all buried, reaved even of their final words. I can finally understand, at least to a degree, what Virgilius and Don Quixote have been telling me. Though there is nothing to call a human face remaining in his distorted form, I think I caught a glimpse of loneliness from his expression. Bias becomes self-doubt.
잠시 무릎 꿇는 것을 두려워하지 마시게.
It sucks being a leader and then
바르면
all of
남는다네.
your guys die. You were responsible for them and you let them down.
And me, being the manager I am, could not accept that. I rewinded so many times to try and prevent that.
Well, he didn't have that luxury, did he?
Nope.
I think he wanted his quote unquote right hand to be in the thing, but then right hand said, "Fuck no, you're surviving." Threw him in there.
That's what I'm expecting. He has survivor's guilt.
And he's coping by being an asshole.
Well, you
Yeah,
know.
he's trying to make it. He's trying to rationalize. Yeah, I survived because I'm like because I wanted to, because I'm a bad person.
그대로 가보자고.
Give him the stank hand, Greg.
변해 있었어.
Wants to believe it's because he's bad. You know, he feels selfish.
Yeah, this is gonna be clean up and done, isn't it?
Faust is about ready to fucking explode, but that's fine. So is he.
Well, she only explodes if you use skill 3. But she does burn to death. The escape pods on the surface are here, but there's only one seat left. They're saying the next one's in 5 minutes. Look, I don't actually believe you hired me because you saw my potential or something like that. But I want to believe that you found the hope and potential because of me. A hope, an anticipation that we can make things better as long as we keep at it. I can't leave you all behind. I can't save my skin, not without everyone. This is what a right-hand man does, doesn't it? Take the potential you found and rise. Take it with you to the surface. But you, Johann, what about you? Well, maybe next time. Another time. Wrath is a hideous emotion. That is why I did nothing at the entrance of that branch. Only remembering. Nothing more. Remembering the ones I left behind. I could sense the dungeons of the Fathoms slowly beginning to close. Sometime later. I have returned. Safe and sound. Welcome back, boss. I, to be frank, once wished to be someone like you, Heathcliff. What are you talking about? We don't want him to be like him. It's not easy to put my faith not in games of numbers, but in those slimmest potentialities of the world and continue to exist. I know it's not very befitting of a researcher to be so, but it is quite the romantic attitude for a human to embody, is it not? Well, the experiment's over. It was a huge success, all thanks to us, right? No. It was a failure. I had established this hypothesis that was the sole answer was to hold a firm belief in the self, and nothing else. Had my hypothesis been correct, I would have remained a distortion. Thus, I would like to extend my gratitude to all of you. Thank you for making me fail. It seems the classification for my distortion was He5SU. disappointingly mediocre, but I guess it can't be helped. The world is a place where we must find the ray of potential among the mediocre, after all. Let us move on now. Mephistopheles is prepared to depart. Hohenheim's researchers waved at us. We'll meet again, right? No, thank you. Everything has an end, so do consider this to be our final meeting. Down to the last exchange, this guy. Yeah, Carmen never showed up because this was not a true distortion. This was induced by Monolith. It's a weird thing of, like, if it's a true distortion, Carmen will show up, but something about the Monolith does not invoke
Bypass
her.
it. You're saying it bypasses her? Well,
That or
Undo-
doesn't trigger her radar.
Well, it
Undo
induces
still heard her, didn't she?
Yeah, because I think she was actually distorting, because she was not... She was panicking based on what she saw of her boss.
Well, she was... according to Ezra, she was still in range of the Monolith, wasn't she?
Well, yes, but also
It
she
could-
started resonating it, but it's also mostly because of all that what she experienced in the Phantoms kind of broke her down.
Yeah, I suppose it doesn't really matter.
The Fathoms could invoke it, but, like, it could also be that she was on the road, too. The last thing we saw before the portal activated were the LCE researchers pushing up their glasses in our general direction. Though I'd only taken a step or two, the entire world around us seemed to transform, landing us back inside the transportation instrument. Yeah, she's near the Monolith, but that could have not been the reason why.
We've already been over this ground. Let's just...
Now that I think about it, we didn't even get to learn why Gregor's bones made those cracking noises.
Because he's a weird bug man.
All we learned from this experience is that sinners have become mediocre, but they each hold certain potentials within themselves. Each of us mulling over the events of the LCE, we returned to the bus where Charon and Virgilius were waiting for us.
Yeah, what a surprise, Don Quixote is the
확실한
strongest sinner.
승리였어요.
By a land
저번처럼
fucking
홈파티라도
mile.
To the point where Virgilius had to actually try to get her to calm down.
He was tired after that, which is wild to think about. Prize is 972.
Well, you got to get the lineup.
This one? I wish I
Yes.
could see what this looked like, because I kind of want to get this.
It's the same. Look at the one that's not the non-effect darken. It's the same thing except I guess the lights are moving around.
I kind of want to get this just because I could see this being really good for my fucking card.
I mean, you can go for it.
Now the question is, how do I farm the rest to mainly get
Dungeon.
EXP tickets? This is the thing I need the most.
Dungeon.
And thread. Like, do the LCB checkup or do mirror dungeons?
Checkup. Look at it. It's also collect your stuff.
Oh, so just do this over and over again?
Yeah.
I think you also get it from Mirror Dungeons, though.
Yeah, but do we get them just for doing it like we did with Miracle in 20th Street recently, or do we have to do
Yes.
this pack?
Yes, but you're not gonna. Well, the thing is, you won't get like 3 a week, so it's not really gonna be.
I mean, I could just do mirror dungeons and slowly grind them up. Which is what I should have done with Miracle in District and get the fucking EXP tickets, but I'm obsessed with that fucking weird roguelike Ellen, and I just forgot. Incorrect. I want this one.
Customize.
Let's see if this beats out the clock.
That's it.
That's it? Oh, wait a minute. No, I know what's up. I have to go over here because it's an ego background.
The shadows of the sinners.
It's pretty good, but I don't
It's cute.
know. I still like the clock a lot. Like, I'm one of those weirdos that if I ever have the opportunity to, I would absolutely get a watch with the exposed gears. Yeah, I think I'm going back to, where is it? Line 3 effect?
A cool, overly fancy watch. Watch
Absolutely.
that cost us thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm. But I want it. I also like the color orange. Which is why it's kind of frustrating that this blue thing is here. Ugh. Does Greg even have a Lustigo at all? Oh, right. The Bride Greg. Nah.
I thought it was rap.
No. Bride Greg is, Bride Greg is, Envy. Envy? Lust. But also, it just doesn't look good there. I wish that wasn't blue. It's so frustrating.
It's so contrasting. That says highway.
I mean, you're not wrong, the contrast is nice, but it's also very movie poster.
It's blue and orange are contrasting colors.
You like the Arcorp color? That's so much of an ass pull that I almost want to time you out for how outlandish that is. That's like, oh, you like the color red. You're a Nazi!
Huh?
Oh, you like that color? Okay, that's
I
that
mean,
kind of right.
orange is the Arcorp color.
But, like,
I don't think they meant anything by that.
it just feels such like a pull, because orange is a lot of colors. It's the
Orange is me color.
Yeah, orange is a tiger color. Orange is the color of sunsets. It's pulling Arcorp specifically if you... Oh, wait. I'm the one mistaking here. I apologize.
I like orange color because it reminds me of the fruit.
R is rabbit. For some odd reason, Nagel popped into my head. That's why I freaked out. So I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh yes, rail, hammer.
Rail and hammer.
Yeah, I completely blanked. But yeah, I think that's... Yeah.
Oh, you like nails? You know who else likes nails? Hitler. Says highway.
But the Nagel is that, isn't it? But yeah, that was entirely wrong.
Yes, it's time for your pendants in the wizard mines.
I need to like fucking work on my memory, man. Who, buddy? That was awkward. Right before I close this out, super lazy. Super lazy today.
한바탕 했나. 돌아가는 길에 구경할 작품이 많아졌겠어.
Actually, you know what? I do want to get I do want to play with poise a little bit more. Yeah, this looks properly edited. Yes. It's a daily, but I do want to, like, show off more of, what's it called? The full stop power couple. So I would go...
지위를 받는 건
주인놈 뜻에 따라 준비 완. 주인놈
지위를 받는 건 오랜만.
가정해두지.
출정이군요.
No. I think Greg needs more actions here.
출정이군요.
아, 이번 의뢰는 몇 발이나 들고
Actually,
가야 하냐?
고래를 향해.
아,
There we go. I
이번
think
의뢰는 몇 발이나 들고 가야 하냐?
the entire idea of this team is poise, but also a ludicrous amount of actions.
총은 수지 타산에 맞게
Pequod,
한 발에
well,
한 놈씩.
Pequod Captain Ishmael is still a good support.
오케이.
That's active
지역
support.
진입 확인했어.
Yeah, because she
네,
gives an extra action,
일단 양호합니다.
Ryoshi gets another action, and then these two. Who, buddy?
You need a different full stop. I don't have full stop, so I had to rely on Quick Cliff.
물의 배달.
Now, hopefully, Captain Ish will get another action in there.
그렇지 않은 것.
God. Just casually throw a 26 to Honglu.
마침표를.
Free actions.
대단하게. 관리자가 아니라 지휘관이었던 거 아니야?
Also, Heathcliff adding a Pierce vulnerability is actually really good for this team.
저놈을 추적해.
That was not the free action I wanted, but okay.
어머해줘.
여긴 맡겨주세요. 부상 없이 나오는 게 최고야. 알지?
당신들은 상관없을지도요?
Do I just fire Silver Bullet and go for it?
총원 불격.
Oh, his sanity is awkward. I don't think it's gonna... Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah!
약점을
That's
잘
so much
노리셨습니다.
damage!
이제 해결사의 전투법도 익숙해지셨네요.
We might stagger him before Crane game starts.
저놈을 추적해.
Wow, Ryoshi's not really performing here, is she?
앞으로 그런 어설픈 공격은 하지 마십시오. 적어도 제 앞에서는 채통을
Oh,
지켜주시죠.
no fucking follow-up on Honglu. Did I not have enough reso?
공장장이 화났을 때도 이런 분위기 아니었어.
그럼 도망쳐야 하는 거잖아.
Oh, he doesn't have a stagger threshold. Ew. Unclashable target fixed. So... Unclashable, which means, Yield My Flesh is not gonna take, is it?
사격 개시.
If we break his body, we won't have to do Crane Game. Well, this damage is getting quite unfortunate. Sigh. Sigh. I was really hoping.
나를
끝내고
보호해라.
버스로 돌아갈 수 있겠다. 그치?
How many bullets do you have, Heathcliff?
타겟 포착. 1시 방향.
The problem with this is that that protection makes it really hard to stagger the heart.
선원들,
어떤 상황이
나를 보호해라.
닥쳐와도 포기한... 이건 못하겠습니다. 너무 유치하잖아요.
타겟 포착. 1시 방향.
Man, even with like 5 fragility, I only did 40 damage on headshot.
필살의 집념이 담겨 있지.
선물 포장을
Yeah, shoot me ahead.
이건 도도루 실장에게 말해줄 것이옴.
No risk at all, but it's just kind of a bummer that it was that flaccid.
좀 무식하게 돌격하실 거라면 전 빠지겠습니다.
사격 개시.
Oh, He's close out of bullets.
끌어가리.
먼저 빠진다.
Goodbye.
Ah!
I looted.
그 정도
Still
화력으로 우리
highest damage
사무소를 막을
output.
수 있을 줄 알았냐?
By a
저놈들
land
무기까지
mile.
주어서 철수하자고.
It's because that one bullet I win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Silver Bullet is fucking cranked. It's great. Daily rewards, please, and thank you. God, some people are already at like 1,000, 1,500 on the battle pass. I'm like, man, that's so much. How?